In this video, we are going to talk about how to carry out a critical literature review. If you search on Google Scholar, you will come across articles such as these: a supply chain management and an analytical framework for critical literature review. Similar way, many articles are available wherein the journals have published articles which have carried out critical literature review. So, what is a critical literature review and how it can be conducted, we would discuss in the next slide. In a critical literature review, we aim to assess, critique, and synthesize the previous research in a manner so that we obtain new theoretical frameworks and perspectives which can give us new insight about the topic which we are investigating. Critical literature review can be conducted on two topics: one, mature or new or emerging topics. The mature topics, if you conduct a critical literature review, we would be able to generate new insights and integrated frameworks wherein the research can be carried forward. If it is done on a new and emerging topic, it helps to create initial preliminary conceptualization wherein we would be taking up recent study. Take for instance human-centered automation. We take up recent studies on human-centered automation and then try to give up a conceptualization as regards to how human centricity is looked into automation. It will help to create theoretical models and then it can help the research to go further. This type of research is severely data based, and also the process of methodological rigor is dwelt into this particular technique. There is no standard protocol for carrying out critical literature review. However, it is prudent on the part of researchers to clearly elucidate how the process of literature review was carried out. This will help in understanding how the development of either new integrated framework or integrative insights have taken place. Usually, in a critical literature review, the output is either a conceptual framework or a mid-range theoretical explanation which will help the readers to understand how the research on a particular domain has culminated over a time period. Though there are no particular protocol associated with literature review for carrying out critical literature review. However, the basic principles which all literature review methodologists proclaim is you should have how the literature review was designed, how it was conducted, what analysis was carried out, and how it was done. Then it talks about structuring and how you are going to write the literature review. In terms of methodology, the first phase is to understand what is the need for carrying out the critical literature review. In order to understand how the body of either the body of knowledge is new, then we need to carry out the critical literature review in order to integrate the conceptual literatures or literatures in that domain so that new insights could be garnered, or Suppose if the topic is old, then critically examine those literature in order to get an integrated framework which can offer new insights. After we ascertain that this is going to be the research method due to which we are carrying out the particular study, we then focus on conducting the review. In conducting the review, first thing is to look how to search the literature. For that, we would use databases such as Scopus and Above Science or other databases of similar nature wherein the domain specificity is represented. Take for instance PubMed for medical research. I usually use Scopus and Above Science because this has indexed most high quality research articles. Once you finalize on the database, the next step is to look into how to design the search string. A search string can be designed by virtue of making use of Boolean operators like and, or, and not. Once these operators are used in different combinations in the database, like maybe Scopus and Above Science, you would be getting numerous articles wherein you would collect those articles which are relevant for your research by observing the inclusion and exclusion criteria. Inclusion criteria means those articles which you are going to include in your study, and excluding criteria means those articles which may not form a part of the study. Maybe you don't want to include articles from conference proceedings, so you may exclude those. These criteria have to be well defined. Then comes the important step of analyzing the relevant article or the final set of articles. Once this final set of articles are analyzed, either in themes, these themes can be integrated in a meta-thematic manner to create a body of knowledge which provides new insights. Once this process have to be done independently in order to avoid any bias or validity issues in the research. We have techniques such as inter-rater reliability which can help to uh, mitigate such issues. To summarize, critical literature review is an important facet in literature review and also in the domain of research. This research can be independently published. This makes and it can, whether the topic is old or whether the topic is new, it can provide lot of insights for the researcher.